Welcome back to DreamHack Winter 2012. Yay! Yay! It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are not actually aware we are live yet. They've
Missed you
been looking
guys.
at that screen for so long.
Yep, they're all on their phones watching watching the other stream. The reason, guys, that we were a little bit delayed was because STC was playing against Stefano on the main stage. Our next match, of course, STC versus Taeja, was, well, obviously delayed because STC can't play 2 games at once.
No, unfortunately not. But he is ready right now. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but I caught a glimpse of the last game. Unfortunately, we didn't see the first 2 games since we were casting the PvP. But the STC lost his first series of today, while Taeja won his first series. He beat the god of Protoss, man. He actually should be punished.
Impossible!
No, it's true. Taeja actually defeated Taeja in the first series of the day.
What was the score?
2-0.
So Elfie felt like...
Yeah, Elfie just felt that Taeja really needed this win.
Yeah.
Because Elfie doesn't lose.
He's a merciful god.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Even gods have mercy.
That's right, man.
And even gods choke.
No.
Not Elfie.
Not Elfie.
Other Protoss gods do. Like Ray.
I was so happy to see Elfie this morning.
Yeah, Elfie was very happy to see us as well. Anyway, guys, we are happy to go live with our second best of 3 of the day. We started off with a PvP event. Now we are going to have a TVT. But I do think we should cherish this moment, because I believe this is going to be the only Terran action we're going to have on our stream for the next 3-4 hours. So
only Terran action period, or only Terran versus Terran action?
only Terran action period.
Oh man!
I think after this is all going to be PvP and PvZ.
That's almost a little sad.
It is a little sad, but that's only until 4 or 5 p.m. After maybe 6. After that, I am sure we are going to see some more Terran. Of course, there's going to be Terran action on the main stream. Anyways, Ben, I love the STC. I think STC is a fantastic Korean Terran player. I had the pleasure of casting him a lot back then when we casted MLG Rally together. Oh well, you, me, and a couple of others. Casted a lot with Toto Biscuit, and I casted so many games with the STC, and I really think that was an amazing tournament for him. I think he made it top 3 or top 4, top 3. I think actually top 3.
Definitely top 4.
I think he lost against Linux in that nail-biting series, and otherwise he would have been the one going to the final.
Yeah, which knocked him down to the 3rd, 4th place match. Who did he play?
Well, I think he finished 3rd.
Man, I'm really trying to remember who he played against.
He lost against Linux, and then Linux moved on to the overall final. And Linux.
Oh, there wasn't a 3rd, 4th place match because of the
No.
MLG format.
Yeah, they were
exactly. So he just finished 3rd.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That makes so much more sense.
And then Linux beat the Protoss first, or Youngwa. I think it was first. Anyways, that was back then, and it was an amazing tournament for the STC. It was the first time I really was able to sit down and just cast many of his games and look at his gameplay as well. And I was kind of blown away. But Ben, over here on the right top side of this map, we have a guy that was considered for a short while, I'd say, the best player in the world, despite never winning the GSL. He just won everything else he participated in.
That's right. It's Liquid Taeja, and he was on absolute fire for a period of time, winning against every race in every matchup, winning against every player.
Winning against every team.
Yeah, he was really. Since then, he's cooled off a little bit. He was completely dominant for a while. Now he's just kind of super good.
Yes. Of course, guys, once more, you have to earn points to participate in this tournament, unless you want to go to the BYOC. Taeja, of course, got qualified because he won DreamHack Valencia, and in that tournament, the STC actually did super well as well. He made it all the way to the semi-finals, but in the semi-finals, the STC did lose against 4GG. 4GG would end up going 2-0 against Taeja, but then still lose 3-2 in the end. But that shows how close all these guys are together.
Got a factory going down already for the STC, whereas Taeja, I thought he was going to expand. In fact, he's just going to make a reactor.
It kind of looked like he's going to expand. He has quite a bit of money saved up.
He's going to expand.
Yeah, now we do see him sending out that SV. Wow, this one SV from the STC could actually get a crucial scout off, as there's no full wall off. But he's going to run into 2 Marines, which were a little bit out of position. Taeja does shut that down. And the STC has still no idea that Taeja is going for the expand.
Yeah. So Taeja's going to be playing this. I'm not really sure what exactly Taeja's plan is. It looks like he's just going to continue to rack out Marines. The STC, on the other hand, also expanding, but I think we're probably going to see a Banshee out of him.
Yeah, it's all going to be a bit delayed. I think both players are opening up very economical. They're not going for the command center immediately, as they did throw down the refinery, of course, and the factory before they added that command center. This gives them a little bit more options than opening up no gas fast expand. But other than that, Ben, it's a very standard opening in TVT.
Yep. And these guys are going to end up being almost completely, if not absolutely completely even here. 21 workers against 21 workers right now, as we're having some small variance in the tech. And by small variance, I mean small timing difference.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's all the same. Starport is going to be a little bit later for Taeja, as we can see, as the starport of the SCC is done already. And actually his expand was, well, his expand is in place. You could say that's even a little bit quicker than the one of Taeja, even though Taeja, of course, is already upgrading his command center to the orbital. It's still going to have to float over to the right spot, so I would say that the SCC is going to mine off 2 bases a little bit quicker. Scan goes down for Taeja. I'm not sure how much he is going to see. Well, Ben actually doesn't see really all that much. Yes, he sees this factory floating, but he misses the starport.
That's a very unfortunate scan. He saw double gas. And seeing the floating factory can be enough for him to figure out exactly what's up, and he does at least start a Viking, so nice intuition there by Taeja. And that alone is going to be enough to knock away any of these Banshees, Kevin, because there's not going to be any cloaking. So the Viking by itself is going to keep Taeja safe from any air threats. On the ground, we did just see a Hellion running in trying to make something work, or at least get a good scout, but Taeja's already got a couple Hellions of his own out. He was safe against that as well.
Yeah, but most importantly, Ben, he did see that floating command center, or floating orbital command, I should say. And the SCC, wow, he's already adding another command center in the main base. Kind of missed it up, so he's going super economical. And he's just going to try to use that Banshee that he had in production. I'm not sure where it is right now. It's over here in the middle of the map. To buy himself a little bit of time. Taeja is going to see this Banshee right now, and he's going to pat himself on the shoulder for creating that Viking.
Yep, Taeja's in great shape right now. The fact that the SCC is getting the double command center, though, could turn this whole thing on its head. Basically, it puts Taeja in a position where he's, not spending that 400 minerals on another command center. He's investing in infrastructure. He's building units. It's opening up a small timing for him.
Yep.
But if he waits too long, and really that window of time is not that large. If he waits too long, the SCC is just going to have more of everything. And Taeja's going to be in a really, really difficult position.
The first crucial upgrades are just going down right now, which is quite late actually in TVT. As we can see, Stim being researched 8 minutes 30 seconds into this game. There's no combat shield. There's no Stim either for Taeja. Taeja's just on 1 Rex right now.
Yeah, and he's going to go ahead and expand again as well, so he's not concerned about hitting any timing. And
it's quite a bit later than the SCC. He's even on triple orbital now already. As you can see, Taeja, besides producing that Raven, he's going to start his siege tank production as well. The SCC is really leaning towards bio, while I'm starting to get mixed feelings over here out of Taeja.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he's up to either. He is continuing to upgrade his bio, but he's also making siege tanks. He also got a Raven, and you don't often see Raven from the bio tier, and I think the only reason he got it is because he's afraid of cloaking.
Yep, I think that's the exact thing, as he has 2 Vikings already. He's going to shut down this Banshee real hard. SCC didn't kill a single unit. Actually, he didn't even see anything in the main base. So that's quite disastrous, but on the other hand, Ben, that's the only Banshee he made. He just wanted to use that Banshee to buy time for himself, because he know he played so economical.
SCC's building a 4th command center. Where is it? There it is. He's just building command centers, man. He's playing. I gotta take a look around the SCC's base right now. He has 3 barracks, a starport, a factory, and soon to be 4 command centers. He has more command centers than he has barracks right now.
He literally has more command centers than he has barracks. Yeah, these Marines might be able to find this Banshee. This Banshee does not have cloak either, so if he would have stimmed, he would have been able to get it. But unfortunately for him, he does not have stim yet. He does not have combat shield either, right? Unless I'm mistaken. No.
No, both these guys have been basically skipping everything in order to get more command centers. Taeja is also going to go ahead and start adding in a little bit of his additional infrastructure, throwing down the armory so he can continue with his upgrades.
And throwing down more Rexes finally, as he was on 1 Rex for such a long time. His team is more than halfway through now as well. These 2 Hellions are still cruising around the map, but they're so low on HP. Other than this, Ben, this game has been very, very peaceful. Taeja actually did not lose a single unit yet. He's so careful.
This is no rush 20 minutes. If we look at total losses, we've had oh no! Banshee, why? She is going to back off and live to harass another day.
No, that's both Banshees dealing absolutely 0 damage. That's not something you see every day in TVT either, where neither Banshee is able to get a single kill or even a decent scout. Yes, it saw Mr. to hurt them. It saw the refinery in the natural, but that's about it. Andre would have been very happy with that. Andre being greeted to
I was happy with it too because we got to see a special appearance from my favorite unit, the missile turret guy.
He is there. Taeja just positioning himself very, very passively. Perhaps figuring that he went for a quick triple orbital, but actually the opposite is true. The SST went for a quick triple orbital and followed it up with the quadruple orbital. So Taeja is perhaps misreading the situation of the game a little bit wrong. Or misreading this game. I mean, he's down 11 workers as well. That's actually the first time in this game we can see there is a clear advantage for either player in some sort of situation. Taeja just did not scout, Ben. He threw down that one scan early on. Actually, he threw down another scan later on because he saw this starport with the reactor, but that's about it.
These guys are just kind of agreeing to sit back and not really do anything until they max out. It's 130 supply to 130 supply. Like super even in regards to the actual army supplies. 74 army supply to 77 army supply right now. Ever so slightly in favor of Taeja.
But both players, Ben, are going to earn so much money right now. Certainly the mineral income is going to skyrocket through the roof. So what I do think we're going to see both players trying to make something happen, at least sacrifice Marines here and there, trying to find an opening. And if the SSC only finds one opening in the defense of Taeja, he is going to be so far ahead as he's already outmining his opponent by quite a bit.
Yeah, and continuing to add command centers. Command centers number 5 and well, number 5 is under construction. Command center number 4 floating down to the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We're going to have a 4-base STC.
I pressed the wrong button, man. I panicked. I was like, what does this button do? And suddenly my mouse didn't work. I was like, ah. Yes, he is going to try to drop the natural off Taeja, but he's not able to do anything because Taeja is so well prepared. I mean, he has he has tanks in good positions all around. Scans are going down, but of course, the SSC knows he doesn't really have to be aggressive. And yes, he can, but he doesn't have to.
Right now, he's just going to work on these rocks and set up a position at the base of Taeja's ramp. Taeja, as you already pointed out, does have tanks spread out everywhere. It's really difficult to attack up into this sort of 3-base corner on Cloud Kingdom, certainly when siege tanks are in play.
5th command center on the way right now for the STC.
And a 6th. And a 6th. He does finally throw down that 6th CC. So, mass command center play from the STC. Taeja really needs to get on his horse here, Kev. He needs to start
I think we're actually going to see it right now, Ben.
And he is going to come down the ramp. Big stem. He's going to force the fight. I don't know if it's going to work out, though, as the STC with all these medevacs and with the tanks in a good position is going to be able to trade pretty effectively with Taeja.
The upgrades were slightly in favor of Taeja. Taeja was in 2-1 upgrades, and the STC was about to finish up 2-2, but he just wasn't there yet. These Marines, however, though, Ben, they are going to be able to do so much damage as there are pretty much no units over here from the STC. There are units rallying out right now of the natural. This would be so painful. He is finally going to see these Marines.
These Marines are just out for a jog.
And at the same time, we see the big engagement over here on the north side of the map.
That's exactly right. Taeja taking a very nice fight on the top half of the map, cleaning up a lot of the STC's map position. Marines on the bottom half of the map killed a couple of SCVs, but for the most part, the STC did a good job of dealing with that. Yeah,
overall, I think the STC is quite pleased with how this went, because he knows the longer this goes on, the better it is for him, as he has way more orbital commands, and he's been mining off 3 bases for a longer time as well. We see another engagement at this Zelnaga Watchtower, and I think Taeja will be able to clear this up.
I'm honestly amazed that that this game's as close as it is, because the STC's had a 4th, he's now taken a 5th, but Taeja's still keeping up in production. His money's not particularly, not a whole lot lower. So it begs the question, how is this happening? If we look at resources lost, we can kind of see the answer. The Taeja's been taking much better fights.
Yeah, he is. But then again, it was on his side of the map as well, though, and then he's supposed to take the better fights. As of course, the STC was investing a lot into stuff on his side of the map as well. This is going to be very nasty. It's going to be so hard for him to ever break this contain of Taeja. And this is a planetary fortress. This is not going anywhere.
It might be going down, Kevin. Yes. It's very low on health. No SCVs there to repair, and that planetary is going to fall. And with it, Taeja's going to just stem and go for it. The STC's way out of position with his units, and that's another great win for Taeja. He continues to take much better fights.
Well, resource loss tab shows us, man. It's pretty much 2-1 right now in favor of Taeja. The STC is going for the counter, but once more the tanks are not sieged up over here, and I think Taeja has enough. There's so many Marines, and he has all these tanks to fall back on as well.
It looks like you're exactly right, man. Taeja's just running over the STC.
But he's actually just right-clicking on the refinery right now. He lost all those Marines. He lost a couple of medevacs as well. But I guess more importantly for him is that he is stabilizing at his own turn. But did you see that? That was a big misclick. He lost all of his Marines there while clicking on this refinery.
Maybe slightly understandable, because the STC was threatening the counterattack at his 3rd base on the other side of the map. Taeja did a good job of dealing with it, but as we saw, his multitasking was so taxed that he lost a couple of units on the other side of the map. He's going to have to unsiege a lot of these tanks and send them back home.
Taeja's going to try to save his tanks on the other side of the map. SC is going to stem in once more. He has the upgrade advantage right now, as he has 3-2, 3-3 now even. His armor just finished up, and it's just going to be 3-2 right now for Taeja.
Taeja is still darting forward. Siege tanks and Marines. This is like a much better fight for the STC. There are a lot more Marines, and he's going to clean up all of Taeja's army. Clean up all of those siege tanks. That's a big win for the STC. Immediately he loads up into these medevacs.
Wants to drop right on top of all these tanks.
No, this is going to be a terrible loss for... Well, yes, it will be a terrible loss for Taeja. Finally, the medevacs are going to unload. Marines are going to stem, and everything's going to die. Taeja losing like 10 tanks there.
Well, those tanks were kind of trapped though. Whenever they would unsiege, they would get ambushed. So Taeja didn't really have a choice. During all this, man, he did put a command center in position in the fort. He still has this one Raven over here as well. But he doesn't know about this base in the right bottom side of the map. Never checked it. Yep,
completely unaware. The good news for Taeja is that the STC has been basically only mining there with 3 SCVs. There's another big fight shaping up at the base of Taeja's natural. Taeja really doesn't have the position that he needs right now, and the STC is just going to stem right up that ramp.
He lost so many Marines doing this though, and there are more tanks sort of sieged up, but I guess the STC is breaking Taeja after all. But he lost a lot of Marines, and a lot of Marines are low in HP as well.
He did lose a lot of Marines. He does have a lot of damaged Marines, but Taeja has nothing else to really... Okay, STC's just going to leave.
Wow, he could have done so much more damage.
Why did he leave?
I think he was afraid of tanks sieging up over here on the high ground. But he could have just
that was like all of Taeja's SCVs just kind of sitting there completely exposed. STC very polite about it. Says, all right, I could hurt you here, but I'm a nice guy.
And you're a good player, so we're going to drag this on a little bit longer.
It's like one of those games where you're way ahead and you're winning and you just want to get a couple carriers out or like a battle cruiser.
And then it all goes wrong. You're like, no, why do I keep doing that? I did that so many times. And I tried to play it off cool, but deep inside I'm crying.
The STC continuing to push right now is basically sectioned off the natural. Taeja's going to try to bust out, take another good fight here, but there's just no medevacs out on the map for Taeja. He literally has 2 medevacs right now, Kevin. At the same time, STC is setting position up outside the 4th base. Siege tanks denying mining there.
Beautiful army movement by the STC. He's just being active with this army just to make sure that Taeja starts focusing on this side of the map. And meanwhile gets tanks in a crucial position, and this base is so important for Taeja.
Yeah, Taeja's in so much trouble right now. STC's effectively maxed, so he can just start recycling units. He's going to begin banking up a lot of money now. And we are going to see another fight here at the 4th base.
Talking about the recycling units, man, he's just stemming in a lot of Marines. There are quite a few tanks over here for Taeja. More importantly, there's a planetary fortress as well, but the STC can afford to lose these units.
Yeah, the STC can't afford it. Taeja absolutely cannot. He's being forced to fight here. And even though that was a more efficient trade for Taeja, the STC is the guy that has the money. He has the banked resources. He has the extra expansions. And this planetary, man, is costing more to repair this planetary than Taeja really has an income right now.
But he kind of needs this, because take a look at the natural. The natural is pretty much mined out. Yes, that 3rd base has some money left. Taeja's going to try to break him right now. And he's doing a good job, but the reinforcements are incoming.
Yeah, reinforcements have arrived even, and Taeja again is going to be battered back. This time, though, he might have just enough units. Yes, he does. The STC.
Wow, that's really sick defense right now, but Taeja just keeps going through, man. He's actually going to save this 4th base. Who could have ever thought?
That's pretty amazing, and I really don't understand how in the world he can do it. But he has. He's cleaned up these siege tanks. Now he has mining once again, and Taeja's going to be able to sustain his production for a little while longer. Now the STC has 2 mining bases.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that Taeja's ahead. I would even say the opposite is true. Yeah. The STC still has better upgrades. He probably has a better infrastructure, and more importantly, he's going to start making another contain on Taeja, and there's absolutely nothing that the Team Liquid Terran is going to be able to do about it.
Yeah, the STC's next push is even
this base, man.
Even larger than the last.
It would be so susceptible for drops if Taeja would only know about this base. Rally in a couple of Hellions or just send in a medevac with 8 Marines, and he would be able to deal so much damage, and he would actually be able to just do something back. Because right now all that he's doing is defending, but it's kind of fighting an uphill battle as your opponent has way more money.
Yeah, he's just being ground on right now. The STC is starting to send out a second little attack squad. Is going to try to...
Wow, look at the units the last resource have. It's like 100 differences. It's crazy.
Wow, that's incredible. These guys are obviously very, very evenly matched. Another big fight up here at the 4th base. STC trying to bear down on this planetary fortress, but Taeja's position is way too strong. You're not going to be able to break that, STC.
No, but the STC is going to be quite fine with that. Okay, this fourth base band, Taeja was not even supposed to hold that. But eventually he might be able to siege up over here on the high ground once more, because he knows it's going to be hard for Taeja to keep track of that. Taeja has a medevac active right now on this right bottom side of the map, but he just starts dropping this fourth base.
Yeah,
Taeja actually thinks that he's ahead.
Still completely unaware of this expansion in the bottom right that has been mining almost all game. Now,
I mean, it's almost empty. Some mineral patches are empty, Ben. One is empty. Others have like 600 left, but one of them is actually empty.
It's a 5 mineral patch expansion where no gas has ever been mined.
Wow, Taeja actually managed to kill this Orbital with this single drop. Did not expect that to play out like that. So Taeja, man, is now going to even have more the feeling that he is ahead. He must feel that he's ahead. It's kind of
unfortunately, he's so wrong. The STC even has extra command centers that he can just float out to new expansions kind of whenever he wants. And Taeja's been denied all mining on this 4th expansion. He's not really been able to do much of anything with it because there have been siege tanks on the high ground behind that base.
This really reminds me of Delta Quadrant, man. When just 1 or 2 siege tanks are in range of 2 mineral patches. That was like the goody siege tank on Delta Quadrant. All European players will remember.
Again, the STC is maxed. Taeja sitting at just about 150 supply, and look at the control that the STC has over this map, man. He's controlling basically every ramp.
I mean, Taeja must start wondering right now, like, where does he get the money from?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a pretty depressing feeling right now. Big stem right now. The STC is going to come forward, and this may actually be the deciding fight of the game. The STC is just going to stay maxed. Taeja's supply dropping rapidly. And that's going to be a decisive victory for the STC. Taeja still has no idea about the bottom right-hand corner of the map. He just has just all of this mining. Look at all these SCVs at this base, by the way, Kevin.
Yeah, there are so many of them. Well, we still have fights going on over here, but Taeja actually in range of these siege tanks, takes a couple of big hits. And Ben, Taeja just never really had, I guess, the mineral income to start. I want to say his +3 armor. That's what he's going to do right now immediately. But the STC has been taking all these fights with an upgrade advantage.
Yep, and this is going to be it. The STC is just going to push forward into the final siege tanks of Taeja, into the final expansion of Taeja. Taeja's trying to come down with a handful of Marines, but it doesn't really matter. This base is almost certainly going to fall.
I mean, I guess that's like one of the power builds, or one of the strengths of just building so many command centers early on, man. You can just float them around, and hey, one might actually really pay off.
I mean, if you get away with it, it is going to pay off in the long term. But as we see, Taeja does finally tap out. GG getting called there. But there is a risk when you build that many command centers early, and unfortunately for Taeja, he was playing just a little bit less greedy. He was playing greedy, but just ever so slightly less greedy.
STC did everything a little bit quicker than Taeja, and then just the nail on the coffin was that base in the right bottom side of the map. But above that, he just had more money all along. The moment you have more money, you can sacrifice more units, because you're sacrificing them for the greater good. And I really think that Taeja, yeah, you might say he made a small error, not scouting well enough, but it is hard to scout everything properly. You want to be careful with your scans. He threw down a scan. He had a good read on the Banshee opening, because that did absolutely 0 damage. But the STC wasn't even really planning on that Banshee dealing damage.
Yeah.
The STC was using that Banshee to keep Taeja as far away from possible, and that is exactly what happened, because Taeja, he positioned himself so defensively.
That's absolutely right. Guys, we're going to take a very short break. Game number 2, the STC versus Taeja, when we get back. Welcome back, guys, to DreamHack winner 2012. It's time for game number 2. Liquid Taeja versus the STC.
I miss you on my jacket, Ben. I think my jacket looked good.
I think I just don't know if I can rock the bracket. To me, I look at myself in the preview screen, and I was like, I look like Idra.
You know, the only reason why I bought that jacket is because I thought, hey, Greg has a jacket like this. Greg is damn good at StarCraft. I need something among those lines. I do not regret it.
I don't think I can pull it off quite like the Kraken.
Actually, big shout out to Letot, as Letot was the one who convinced me to buy it.
Did he really?
Yes, and he also convinced me to buy some silly sunglasses and a scarf. The scarf I never wore. Even though like this is like my first step towards the scarf, but I'm already feeling like a little insecure nerd. I'm gonna have to be honest.
You need to give the scarf a shot, man. Mark Orbitz always rocks the scarf.
Yeah, I mean Mark Orbitz is a real scarf man. The Muslim always rocks the scarf, or always.
I think there's a lot of.
I just feel like I look like.
There's a lot of merit to the scarf.
Ben, I'm gonna be very straightforward now. This is Sweden. We can say this kind of stuff. I feel I look like a douchebag wearing a scarf. That's just how I look. I don't know.
I feel you shouldn't. You can't think so much about these things.
Yeah, I know. You
just embrace the douchebag.
I know. I would, you know, I wear it if I'm like traveling to another continent and I'm meeting all kinds of people that I would never see on the airport or something. You know, then they can think of me whatever they want, but not in front of my own community, man.
Because you're afraid they'll tease you.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, I don't really care what strangers say, but like in the StarCraft community, you have a certain image, and I don't want to be known as a douchebag. I'm not a douchebag. I'm such a nice guy.
Wearing a scarf, contrary to popular belief, wearing a scarf does not make somebody a douchebag.
Yeah, but my face somehow my face plus a scarf.
Now you do have kind of a douchey face. No.
Wow, wow, okay.
I'm just kidding, buddy. You know I love you.
You're just mad. I don't know what to say. I have no comeback. Anyway, guys, Liquid Taeja, our Red Terran spawning in the right bottom side of Ohana. Our DreamHack Valencia champion of this year is down 0-1. He did win his first best of 3 of the day, though, so all Taeja fans out there, don't worry. He's far from out of it yet. For all people who just tuned in, Ben, and wondering, okay, is this like, why are these two guys playing against each other already? Normally, it's like first group stage. It's all kind of split out. DreamHack Winter is very different. You can, of course, read all about it on the DreamHack page, or just check out Liquipedia as always. Big shout out to those guys, as they've already been 2 hours into this tournament, been providing me with information I wouldn't have otherwise had. But this is different. We're gonna have 4 big groups with 5 players. One guy will join in later today from the Bring Your Own Computer tournament. But basically, one player is gonna immediately qualify for the quarterfinals, and the number 2 of Group A is, for instance, gonna play against the number 3 of Group B. And the same goes for C and D, but might be the other way around. So as long as you make it to top 3 in your 6-man group,
you're in good shape.
You're in good shape.
That's exactly right. Pretty similar openings in this TVT. Both guys getting fast gases. We can see Starport already, no Starport yet, but factories are already down in the STC's base.
I kind of felt that the STC just played really well, thinking, okay, I'm playing against Taeja. I don't think he would have necessarily played like that against any other Terran. But we all know how Taeja loves to play. Taeja feels as long as it goes into macro mode, he is safe, and he's such a fantastic player. That is where Taeja can make the difference. And of course that is true, but not if he's going to get heavily outmined by his opponent, who just knows that Taeja is not going to attack him for a little while, and cuts a few quarters and opens up super greedy.
Taeja's actually doing the same build he did on our last map. He's gone for the reactored barracks opening into the very, very fast command center. Look at this, Kevin. We have a proxy.
Oh, but look at this. More importantly, immediately, Ben. Immediately, Taeja scouts it.
Liquid Taeja, his game senses were tingling.
Yep, one Marine is going to try to make his way over. The STC does not want to give up on this idea yet, but he's going to have to give up on it eventually, as there's just one Marine coming over, and this one Marine is not going to save the day. Wow, actually, he's just carrying it. He's like, guys, I got a gun.
Hey, get out of here, jerk.
But I mean, is he really? Yeah, he is going to send another SCV. Wow, he's going to try to finish that starport. That's ballsy. Man, this one guy.
This is what happens when you have the...
this guy's from the south.
He's definitely a southerner. Man with gun.
Taeja has 4 Marines parked on top of his ramp, so these 2 Hellions are not going to be able to achieve all that much. But of course, if they get dropped into the main base, it's suddenly a whole lot more scary. What Taeja did do, man, he bought himself crucial time. Goals like this, they come down to seconds, and Taeja just bought himself 30 of those.
Yes, sir. It's exactly right. Although I will say this, if I'm Taeja, I'm not expecting this starport play to continue. Hellions are going to try to dart up into the natural.
Yeah, there's so many Marines, and more importantly, the Marines are super well positioned. Of course, Taeja's not just going to put them in a vertical line and they will all die. He puts them in a beautiful arc, and these 3 Hellions, they're not going to be able to bust the front. And more importantly, the STC lost the Hellion.
Interestingly, the STC making a Viking out of this starport, opting not to go through the medevac. And
I thought he had a medevac. No, well, he didn't.
The STC also, or I'm sorry, the Taeja also just like gets it, man. He's got units in every position. He's prepared to defend drop. He's got the bunker at the front. This is great play out of Taeja. Absolutely flawless play, I would argue.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, crucial scout early on after he did everything right. And the best thing he did, man, he kept him in the dark. STC does not know about his command center, and perhaps that's why he is producing this Viking, just in case he's playing against the one base Banshee opening, and that Banshee would have already been there by now. So by just preventing the fact that the STC knows there's an expand there, he gives STC one more thing to worry about. And even when it's not there, it's something that turns out very good for Taeja.
The starport is on a long journey, Kev.
Yeah, but he's gonna get there, unless he runs out of fuel.
I am a proponent of the Terran fuel bar.
Yes, I know.
I think that buildings, when they're flying, should have a fuel meter, and that it should eventually deplete.
Yeah, so it's
and then when they land, they can refuel. They just, you know, they put, I don't care if it's Ohana sand that charges their engines. They have to land and get some new sand every now and then.
This one Viking of Taeja gets a crucial scout off. He will fall, but he did see pretty much everything, and he must see and see. Okay, I'm actually quite pleased with what I saw right now. We have a small Hellion battle going on over here in the middle of the map. Both players just exchanging Hellions back and forth. Obviously, not a whole lot is going to get done over there.
It's a Hellion stalemate. 54 supply to 61 supply. Both players hitting a small supply block. As we will see the STC once again show us that he likes building command centers. He's taking his natural. He's immediately going to take a third command center. Taeja is also getting a fast third command center here.
Yeah. Even a little bit quicker than the STC this time. And I love Taeja's position, man. He's up 6 workers. He shut down that early aggression pretty damn hard. He lost a little bit more in resources, but that's only because he lost that one Viking. But that was for the greater good. He did get a good scout off.
That's exactly right. And Taeja looks like he's ready to push out on the map once more. He's got a Raven in the mix. Eager to see what happens with that guy.
He doesn't have stim yet, doesn't have combat shield yet. He is researching +1 though.
Pretty excited about some of the Raven changes that are being tested. Did you read about it yet, Kev?
Yeah, a little bit.
Raven is being tested with no Hunter-Seeker missile upgrade. That means that it could potentially be starting with Hunter-Seeker missile in the future, and I think that's a really fun change.
Seeker missile. It's pretty good, man.
It will be guaranteed to see a lot more Raven play in the future if that change goes through.
Both players, I mean, it looked like the STC want to make something happen, but that is not going to be the case. What is going to be the case that he's going to see this triple orbital from
That's
Taeja.
right. Tom Cruise and Goose going to go ahead and go to work on this command center.
Gonna need quite a few more shots than just these. Guys, I don't know what these buildings are made from, but we need to upgrade our F-16s. Taeja's careful with his Raven and his Viking. As you saw, there are 2 Vikings on that side of the map. He's gonna park it safely above the Marines. I mean, right now, Taeja's just going to macro up for quite a while, man. There's nothing else that he has to do. He has control of this southern Zelnaga watchtower, which is so important because he doesn't want to get contained once more. But it's very unlikely that we're going to see a similar scenario like on Cloud Kingdom, just for the simple fact that Taeja is the one with more money this time.
Yeah, it's basically a similar game, but with Taeja being the guy in the driver's seat here. He's not mass expanding quite like the STC was, but because he has been so consistently expanding ahead of his opponent, he's just in a dominating position. 108 supply against 81. STC is another small supply block here. It's the second time this has happened this game.
It's true. I saw it as well. As he's throwing down a couple of more Rexes. A little bit sloppy because he cannot afford it. He cannot afford to slow down his own economy even more. As I mean, Taeja knows that he's ahead, man. It's as simple as this. He knows that he's ahead, and he knows that he's just gonna get everything, make his army as strong as possible, and get further ahead. Right now, if he's gonna try to push the issue, he might make something happen, but it's very likely that by the time that he crosses the map, that his opponent is just barely gonna have enough units, and then defender advantage is going to be enough to survive and crawl back into this game.
Now, one thing that both these guys are doing is spending their money, keeping that cash nice and low, upgrades rolling on both sides, additional infrastructure and production being added on both sides. Taeja's continuing to macro further and further ahead for a couple of reasons. Yes, the faster expansions, but also because he hasn't hit those supply blocks, and he's been able to macro uninterrupted, whereas the STC's had a couple of small stalls, a couple of small hiccups. It's 143 supply for Taeja, 110 for the STC, and Taeja's on the move right now. This is a pretty scary push.
It is a scary push, man. As combat shield is ready, Stimpack is about to finish up, and we can see that 1-0 is already ready, 1-1 is about to finish up, and 2-1 is well on the way. So Taeja is just in fantastic position, and This is about the time where he can start sacrificing some units, can start stimming in, and he might just straight up win the game.
Big Marine force on this northern Zeldaga tower right now for Taeja. The STC really has no way of actively confronting this, but he does have some tanks out. He does have a pretty good defensive position protecting his third base.
Well, he's just going to hope right now that Taeja makes a bad engagement, and that's the way that he's going to turn it around. Taking a look at the numbers, man. Well, the Marine count is actually getting a lot better right now for the STC, as he's only 5 Marines down.
I really like how the STC's got a couple of Vikings patrolling on the sides to protect against drops. We did see Taeja kind of poke forward a little bit, but nothing doing there. And, oh, that Raven might be on a suicide mission, Kev.
Yeah, I really hope it doesn't go all the way.
Oh, dear.
I mean, he can save himself for a little while with a point defense drone, I guess.
He is going to run into this Viking, and Ravens do not have a particularly high health pool, and he's just going for it, man. He's a YOLO!
Auto turrets for the win!
And gets him down.
And I think at the same time, Taeja must be trying to make something happen over here. Otherwise, that's kind of a silly sacrifice. Those auto turrets are shooting at stuff. Taeja, is he going to go for it, man?
I don't think so, man. Auto turrets shooting at stuff, getting completely killed. It's 170 supply for the STC, 190 supply for Taeja. Taeja's ahead. I don't know if he's ahead enough to just attack into this, though.
And actually, man, the 2-2 upgrades are going to finish a little bit quicker for the STC. I'm quite surprised by that.
So that's another small thing that's going in favor of the STC.
I mean, he's hitting supply blocks, but he's not missing a beat with his upgrades. Right now, he's not even building. Okay, he's building 4 depots.
Yeah. Now, the STC does lead 1-0, guys. A victory here means that that Taeja's well, not in trouble necessarily. Actually, the STC is just going to come around. Is he going to try to fight this?
I mean, not the entire army of Taeja is here, but soon it will be. These are so many Marines, though.
Oh, big fight is going to unfold. Stim going down on both sides of the map. Taeja with the overwhelming numbers, and the STC making a big mistake. He's on move command for most of this fight, and he's going to lose a lot of Marines. He's going to lose a couple of medevacs. And that is going to be very, very difficult to recover from. And now Taeja can definitely try to make something happen. Only siege tanks stand between his army and the bases of the STC.
Yeah, suddenly he has a 30 Marine advantage. As he's spending all of his money, he has so many Rexes with reactors, so he will be able to spend those minerals and at least reproduce quite a few Marines. But that was quite an expensive mistake, man, as you pointed out. This Viking did shoot down one medevac over here as well. 3 lonely Marines like, we're kind of trapped, guys. Saving Private Ryan and his friends.
The sequel.
The sequel. Well, actually, we see Taeja right now. He's going to stim forward. He's going to try to do something about all these tanks.
Loses a lot of Marines, but the siege tanks of Taeja will continue to stand strong. And a couple of Marine reinforcements showing up just to make sure these tanks are covered.
I mean, the moment those reinforcements arrived for Taeja was like the best moment in history. If those would have arrived a little bit later, could have been tricky. Yeah, Taeja's going to try to do it once more.
And he has excellent, excellent army control and overwhelming numbers, Kevin. The STC is going to try to stim down this ramp and make something happen, but I don't really think it's possible. Taeja with too much map position.
And not just that, man. 60 Marines are in medevacs on the left side of the map. That drop might be able to deal a little bit of damage, even though this is a planetary fortress. But behind the mineral line, something might be possible, but Taeja just took out so many siege tanks that he can definitely afford to lose a workload 3.
Taeja killed a command center on the right side of the map. He can potentially pressure the third base of the STC. This medevac doesn't, or these 2 medevacs are going to unload on Taeja's side of the map.
Let's see how much damage Taeja will be able to do first over here as these Marines are going to stim in. Taeja not paying attention, going to lose 2 siege tanks immediately, but it doesn't really matter as GG is called and it's 1-1.
Yep, STC taps out and Taeja evens up the series.
Much better game by Taeja.
Yeah, he was. He just wasn't tricked. I mean, let's be real here. The Cloud Kingdom game was a nice game. STC played well, but the reason it went so well for the STC is because Taeja had no idea about that extra base.
No, Taeja just had less money all game long.
Yeah.
I mean, he was taking pretty good fights. He was even ahead in the, ahead in the resource loss. That means that you're behind, if you know what I mean. That he lost less resources.
Right.
But it didn't really matter because he mined so few more that in the end of the day.
Well, at the end of the day, the STC was just able to make more stuff. And guys, if you can make more stuff than your opponent in StarCraft 2, it's going to give you a nice, healthy advantage.
It's a good game for Taeja, though. Taeja, of course, is already 1-0 in this group as he took out Elfitaya, the god of Protoss, the replacement of Sho. I'm a little bit sad that Show's not here. I'm happy to see Elfie, but I'm sad that Show's not here.
It's like pulling at your heartstrings. You lose Show, but you pick up Elfie. Very excited to watch these guys and see a lot more great StarCraft games, guys. We're going to take a very short break. Taeja versus the STC, game number 3. That's going to happen when we get back. Welcome back once again to DreamHack Winter 2012 and to game number 3, Taeja versus the STC. This TVT series is obviously all tied up at 1 each. What are you grinning at?
No, nothing.
You just look so happy.
The guys are so
happy.
excited for TVT.
Why are you so happy, Kev?
I am happy because we're in Sweden, man. That's why I'm happy.
Sometimes I think when you're really, really happy and you get this big grin on your face, sometimes I think you look like the troll face guy.
The troll face guy?
Yeah.
If he's a happy guy, then I'm a happy guy.
He's a very happy guy.
I can live with that. I think like our players are ready. Both the STC and Taeja are ready. STC is 0-1 in this group as he lost his first series of the day against Stefano. Those games were shown on the mainstream. I saw game number 3. I saw a lot of roaches early on, so I felt a little bit sorry.
Yeah, it was. I just kind of caught, not the tail end of it, but I kind of tuned in as roaches were walking into the STC's base. And I was like, oh, this looks pretty good for Stefano. And I think it did translate to Stefano victory, if I'm not mistaken.
I think both these guys, though, I mean, we are casting this game very early on. This is going to be a super long day. We're going to have lots of group stage matches. Pretty much the entire groups are going to get played, besides the guys who join in from the BYOC tournament. We're going to cast all their games tomorrow. But looking at it realistically, I think both these guys have a realistic shot at taking the entire tournament home.
Yeah, Taeja is definitely somebody that people are looking to play very well. The STC maybe not as popular, but certainly
such a good player, though.
Certainly just as talented. 4GG, another Terran player here at this tournament that a lot of people are having high hopes for.
Yeah, all 3 of those did very well at Valencia. We mentioned this before. Taeja was, of course, our champion at DreamHack Valencia. But the STC did pretty damn well as he made it to the semifinals where he lost against 4GG. But in those TVT series, man, we can see it once more. Anything can happen as long as you have a better build than your opponent. You often get a small edge. And if you give these guys a small edge, it will eventually end up in a big edge. Anyways, map number 3 is going to be played on Antigua's shipyard, as you guys can see. And Liquid Taeja is our red Terran.
Yep, and STC down on the other side of the map is the blue Terran. I want to take a moment just to say happy Thanksgiving to our American fans. I know it's still a little bit early over there, so not sure how many of you guys that are tuning in on the streams are from the U.S., but happy Turkey Day if you are. I know that my girlfriend bought a 12-pound turkey.
I know that I've been missing every single U.S. holiday this year.
Thanksgiving is a good one, man.
Yeah, well,
especially in the South where I'm from, we do Thanksgiving.
You know, I know this is potentially not even possible, but I think I'm going to miss Christmas this year. I think I am. Because I've just been missing every single national day in every single country I normally spend time at. But somehow I just fly away from every country right before the holidays start.
You're gonna end up in some like non-Christian country on Christmas.
No, what's gonna happen at Christmas is that I'm gonna fly like across the ocean, and when I arrive, it's not Christmas anymore. That's
You're gonna like fly across the ocean, but you're gonna have a layover in Dubai, and then your connection's gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be in Dubai on Christmas.
yeah, maybe that is what's going to happen. I don't know, man. I'm kind of afraid of that day. You can see the STC once more with 1 Rex and a refinery opening over here. Did not upgrade his command center yet. His orbital is significantly slower than the one of Taeja.
Taeja's changing it up this game. He's gasless, so he's going to be going, looks like 1 Rack's fast expand pretty quickly. Oh, Kevin! I think we might see a Reaper opening.
No.
And
Somewhere in the room, you can talk about the Reaper expand.
Well, guys, let me tell you about Reaper expand.
You know, the funniest thing is, guys, you guys don't know this at home. But yesterday, the first thing Apollo said is like, oh man, I can't wait for you guys to cast TBT, because Mr. Bitter is again going to talk about either Reaper Expand or the Missile Turret guy. And you had both opportunities already, man.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. Reaper Expand, the best build in the world, guys. Let me tell you why.
Every Terran player out there hates you right now.
No, man. The good ones, they agree
Actually,
with me.
Ben, it is not really Reaper Expand.
It's Reaper in the factory. Which is going to be Reaper opening into a Banshee, I guess.
Wow, that's kind of strange. But you can still talk about the Reaper expand, even when he's not expanding. Just go for it.
Well, it's because the Reaper has one purpose. Is he getting chased by a Marine right there?
No, he's just taking a nice detour.
That was the robot, the automaton. The Reaper has one purpose, and that purpose is to scout. In this situation, he's going to do that. He's going to fulfill his obligations as a Reaper. He's going to get a great scout off. But almost always, that Reaper's going to do bonus damage, Kev. He's going to kill an SCV. He's going to force some mining time to be lost. He's going to delay a barracks from completion. And this is why Reaper Expand's so awesome. I don't know why anybody would ever not Reaper Expand.
2 SCVs down, 3 SCVs down, actually. This Reaper is definitely paying for itself.
Look at the bonus damage.
That's great bonus damage, Ben. But he did not actually see the command center. I mean, I guess you can assume it's there. The units were out of position as well. It took a little while. This one SCV is soaking up some damage. The Reaper,
no, not the Reaper!
He will win.
Oh! That was so close.
It's a Reaper, man. A Reaper wins easily.
Don't fear the Reaper. Actually, you should fear the Reaper, guys. The Reaper is a terrifying unit.
Eventually, there is an expand on the way
not
for
the
STC.
automaton. Oh my God. The STC is a vicious murderer.
He just
And
wants to get
now
the
that
kill.
Reaper has 5 kills, technically.
Yes, technically. I don't know why they don't count the automaton as a kill. They count Brutalings as a kill.
Guys, Heart of the Swarm, the Reaper's going to be even better. It can see up ramps or it can just see high ground.
Yeah, that is
from the
crazy. That's a crazy
Yeah,
buff.
he comes equipped with binoculars. And he also just heals. So like this Reaper, who's at 8 HP, would be healed in Heart of the Swarm.
And now he can go back to the main base and kill another 3 SCVs.
Exactly.
It's going to be a Cloak Banshee follow-up, man. So Reaper into Cloak Banshee into Expand over here for the STC. A really crazy build. And I have the feeling it's going to work pretty damn well against this no gas fast Expand opening.
Run, Reaper!
Reaper is still alive, man. He's not going anywhere. Oh.
Oh,
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh.
He tried. He fought like a man.
Why didn't he just go out the other way? Can you not jump down on the other side?
Here, you mean?
Yeah.
He can't pass. He can't jump past the rock.
He should have gone like over here then.
More crucially, Ben. Yeah, and then get into the natural and kill
do more
another
bonus
SCV.
damage.
One more command center is going. Is on the way for Taeja, and this might actually be quite painful, man, because that means that more and more minerals are not going into defense. Yes, he's going to have quite a few Marines. How many Marines we have on the map? 11. And the starport is ready as well. Taeja has supply block, so he's not able to start this Viking yet.
There are 3 Marines, but Banshee
enough.
can kill the 3 Marines with some micro, even without the micro.
And he's not revealing the fact he has cloak yet. He's going to wait as long as possible.
And if you factor in the bonus damage, the economic losses that Taeja has taken are starting to mount. Cloak is going to be revealed. These Marines are going to take some. There's the scan, though. Oh no,
Wow.
STC.
Was a little poorly handled there by the STC. Did not really
Yeah,
bother to move that Marine.
Obviously wasn't watching. Just kind of put it on Cloak and looked away.
He's already going to move out with a small Marine hit squad and a tank. He must have one more bench on the map, though. Yes, he is.
Yep.
He's going to fly into the main base right now. Taking a look at these command centers, we can see that there is enough energy for 1 scan right now.
And here comes that Banshee. Here's a missile. Oh, scan immediately.
It's not going to kill
gets
the Banshee, though.
dropped. No, not going to be good enough.
It's going to scare him away, and that's going to count, because right now this missile turret will go up, so you can talk about your second favorite thing in TVD.
Missile turret guy. Actually, we can't talk about the missile turret guy right now because that requires zooming and camera spinning. But the STC with some terrible control here is just sacrificing units left and right. This push would be substantially scarier with a Reaper and 8 more Marines.
Now the high ground vision is actually gone. He still has a scan though. Scan is going down. These Vikings taking a lot of damage.
This was so poorly done by the STC. Yeah. I hate to be that critical, but he made way too many mistakes. Walked some Marines into a bunker. Yep. Lost Banshees very carelessly.
The first Banshee. Excuse me. Because every Banshee was super important to provide him with high ground vision, and that was not the case right now. So Taeja, despite losing so many SCVs, man, is actually still going to be in pretty good economic shape. Because he, of course, had an expand way before the SCC. And he's just been producing SCVs all along. While the SCC cut a little bit, trying to make this push in.
Now, has the missile turret guy killed anybody yet? No, not yet.
No, he didn't kill anyone.
If I was a Terran unit, I would be the missile turret guy.
I think everybody knows.
It's a safe job. It's a pretty fun job because it's like kind of playing it's like playing video games. It is, man.
Maybe he has like a portable game.
If you zoom in on him, he's got the little video game display like on his screen there.
I did before, Ben, but another cloak bench. He's gonna try to make his way into the natural expansion of Taeja.
But there's a missile turret guy there. This Banshee has no chance. Boom. That's me doing my job right there. Hey, get out of here, Banshee.
And he's like, okay.
Dumbledore.
That is Chinese for I don't know.
Might tell you guys a funny story about Timbodo later.
And they're gonna. Chinese people love to tell you that, man. You can just go up to them and ask them anything in the world, and they will say Timbodo.
Oh man.
These two Marines just rallied, were straight rallied into the siege tank in the middle of the map. Taeja does not have
this
map control.
Banshee has a death wish. She's just like flying around with no energy.
Man, my nose is so stuck. But I'm hanging in there. I was like struggling over my own words. I was like, Marines, thanks. Okay. Now we're all good again, man. Taeja's gonna go up to 3 bases. Triple orbitals almost ready for the SCC over here as well. But not yet.
Not yet, indeed. 94 supply to 90 with the STC continuing to macro ahead of Taeja ever so slightly. Of course, Taeja, with that earlier investment in his 3rd base, has not yet reaped any reward from it.
I mean, Taeja probably feels quite okay right now, but I think it's hard for him to have an exact read on the economic situation of his opponent. Because all that he's been doing so far has been defending. He lost a lot of SCVs early on. If you take a look at the unit loss, well, he only lost 8 SCVs throughout the entire game. It felt like a little bit more. Because I still feel this first Banshee could have dealt so much more damage.
Yeah, she was really poorly controlled. And then that push was very poorly executed as well.
Perhaps the nerves are taking the best of the SCC. The SCC, of course, is 0-1 in this group. I already said it several times. Going 0-2 is not the end yet, Ben. But then you are going to be forced to win quite a few games.
Could be nerves. Could also, of course, be a little bit of jet lag, as travel can often be draining. And missile turret guy, MVP.
Taeja's very well defended.
Yeah, it was nicely done. Very nicely done.
He's just in a great position right now. The only thing that he doesn't have is map control, but I'm just starting to have the feeling that Taeja feels very comfortable with the position that he's in. So he's probably just feeling, alright, I'm just going to macro up for a little while longer right now. You can try to bust through. But he's so, look at this line of units that Taeja has lined up, and this is like Fort Knox. Even though it's not that well defended, but it's so safe because backups are everywhere.
Do you think there's actually anything inside Fort Knox these days?
Yeah, man. Aliens.
No, bro. It's where we put our gold. But like, I wonder if it's like
that it used to be gold. The gold is sold to China. Now it's
you gotta go to Fort Knox. Like, hey, is there anything inside? And the guard says, Timbodo.
Yeah, that's my man. That would be very sad. That would be a sad day being an American. 60 Marines are entering these medevacs, and Taeja's gonna send these medevacs to the south side of the map. He's gonna try to find an opening somewhere. Unlike Taeja, I would say the SCC is not that well
Look at
prepared.
all these missile turret guys. This is like a missile turret guy convention.
This Banshee almost saw these medevacs. Better missed it.
STC's got a huge army just kind of camped in the middle of the map. Taeja scans right on top of it, and he's like, okay, this is exactly what I'm playing against.
I mean, the STC has a few Marines over here, Ben, but if all of these 60 Marines make their way over here into this 3rd base, I think the STC is going to have a small problem. He is going to see it immediately, though.
Medevacs and missile turret guys. Who's going to win? It looks like, in fact, the STC does have enough to hold. Billy, no! Oh, wow. Did you see that?
Mad pick up by Billy.
Billy had like the grappling hook. He just grabbed it on his belt and he just.
Billy had Spider-Man upgrade, man. He shot like webs through his hand, out of his gun. Taeja's gonna try to break out, but he's gonna have to be so careful as there are still quite a few tanks.
He might not even try to break out. He might just go around.
That's hard though.
A couple of guys on guard duty down here.
Then he really allows the STC to counterattack. Upgrade-wise, this is of course a very even game as well. These medevacs still trying to be active, but the STC is aware. I must say he reacted very well to that. This one single Marine was a lifesaver for the STC.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that statement, as we do see Taeja moving through the middle once again. The STC is in position. He's got lots of tanks. He does have that Zelnaga tower under control, which is always very nice.
Well, Taeja tried to get shots off. Okay. This medevac is going to die. 2 Vikings against 2 Vikings. Not sure where the Vikings from Taeja are. Okay, they're coming in right now.
Yep.
Ooh, do not get the first shots off.
And that is bad news
Yep.
in a Viking war. Both these guys are maxed out. Both these guys have almost their entire armies up on the front line. Siege tank getting picked off there.
Yeah, the upgrades are completely identical right now, but the only thing is Taeja is working on 3-3. So that's going to be ready for him a little bit quicker than for his opponent. But other than that, this is a 100% even game.
Yes, sir. Taeja is going to take a small fight here, winning that skirmish, but he's going to run into a much larger one, and he has no choice but to disengage. Command Center trying to land in the top left-hand corner of the map. He's going to be spotted.
Yep. Taeja's going to send quite a few SCVs there, over there already. There's still a Banshee, though, in that Banshee.
Oh, that Banshee is about to have a field day.
Is there any of the Vikings remaining of Taeja? Yes, he has 1 Viking. I'm not sure where it is.
He's getting shot at right now. He's about to get shot down. Tom Cruise Viking.
No, talking about a field day, this one Banshee is indeed going to be able to kill so many SCVs here. I'm curious to see what Taeja's going to do about this, man. I mean, he has nothing that he can do about it. Okay, he's actually going to unload a couple of Marines. That's very well done.
But there's a few more Marines coming from the STC. He wants to shut down this expansion before the planetary can finish. He does stem. He is going to kill SCVs, right? He needs to target this command center, man, and that's exactly what he's going to go ahead and do. No, he's going to back off.
He's going to let it finish.
That might be a small mistake. We'll see exactly how it plays out in the long run. Taeja is sending some units over to that side of the map.
Man, there's just madness all around the map right now. They have a stalemate in the middle of the map. Other than that, they're just little fights. This command center will go down as there are so many Marines over here from Taeja.
Yeah, it'll easily be picked off. Nice catch there by Taeja, denying his opponent's attempts at expansion. And now he will be able to secure this base as well, as that is a large horse there.
Standing on the landmine. This force actually going to get sandwiched. Yes, see, bringing in so many units. Taeja knows about this, so he just wants to reposition.
Run! Taeja's going to try to fight on the high ground. I'm not sure if this is the best idea. He's stemmed that army nearly to death.
Wow, both players just... I mean, massive losses are taking either side. Taeja lost a little bit more, but he's been mining more this game, so I'd say he can sort of afford it. He also took out the 4th command center from the STC, which was a crucial pickoff.
And still really very, very even.
Man, with all these Marines, he might actually be able to retake position of the middle.
I don't know, Kev. It's going to be a big fight in the top left, and kind of stalemates once more. Neither player really willing to completely commit to that. Taeja's just going around the side of the map. He's going to set a big flank, and he's going to try to break this position in the center like he predicted. He is going to win.
He's doing really well. These Marines still got so many siege tanks.
Convincingly kills a lot of tanks there. Nice fight there for Taeja. But really, if you look at the supplies, it's the STC who's pulling ahead here.
But yes, but Taeja has quite a bit of money saved up, and that is going to work out for him. And I actually think that he's doing a very, very good job retaking.
I'm so impressed that he was willing to just commit this many units to defend this top half of the map. It was a bold maneuver, and I think so far it's proven to be a very intelligent one.
The income tab can show us right now that both players have 70 workers or 69 on the hand of Taeja. Taeja is mining a tiny bit more, of course, as he is mining, even when it's not a lot, just a little bit over here from this fort base. I mean, the STC is going to try to take this position right now in the middle. That would be a very good base to have. Taeja, of course, not just going to give it to him.
Yeah, Taeja's continuing to kind of send units down this right flank to try and...
Oh, Taeja's going to try to break it once more.
Coming in from 2 sides right now, and this is going to be a very difficult hold for the STC to make. He's losing tanks on both fronts, and Taeja with a great attack is going to kill a lot of... Every siege tank falls. Excellent fight there for Taeja. Supply-wise, it's still very even, but that tank count was just reset. 13 siege tanks remaining for Taeja, only 4 on the map for the STC right now.
16 against 12 Marines, man. That's a big difference. Of course, Taeja is producing like 60 Marines at a time, and he is having the Marine upgrade advantage right now, as he's on 3-3 upgrades. The STC only on 2-2.
Tanks are the thing that's keeping Taeja ahead right now, but the STC has repositioned a lot of Marines. He's going to try and deny the third expansion of Taeja. Taeja's going to have to scramble to get back there, and that could mean giving up his position in the middle of the map.
And not just that, he's going to lose quite a few Marines, SCVs over here. He is able to lose a few Marines. Wow, that is a risky move by... okay, there's not a single bit of anti-air or Marines. I guess that's going to work out. Well, Taeja did take the middle of the map, man.
Yeah, he killed all those tanks, man. He did a great job retaking the center, and now he's going to be able to deny a lot of the mining of this planetary. And unfortunately, this is a planetary. It can't pick up and fly away.
More importantly, he's going to lose quite a few SCVs as well. This tank is going to fall immediately. Beautiful play by Taeja, man. He lost all of his Marines, but it was completely worth it, because he did retake position of that center of the map. And that was the first time in like 15 to 16 minutes that Taeja actually controlled the middle.
The STC's actually in a pretty good bit of trouble right here, Kevin, as he's running out of places to get money. He's going to try to take the bottom right main base.
But I mean, Taeja is going to know about this, and he's going to be able to sacrifice way more Marines than the STC right now. Take a look at the net of the STC. It's pretty much mined out. Taking a look at his third base. 600 minerals left per patch.
Taeja's actually going to ask for a pause.
No big deal, hopefully.
Yep, hopefully nothing substantial. If we look at just the state of the game right now, we can see Taeja basically maxed out, says go, he's ready to rock and roll again. So we've got a maxed out Taeja against 160 supply STC.
And 17 siege tanks against 6 men. I mean, Marine count is even though there's still an upgrade advantage for Taeja, and that is of course massive as well. We saw that on the Cloud Kingdom there too, how big of a difference just one upgrade can really make.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. And Taeja critically aware of this expansion in the bottom half of the map. There's a command center here, but it doesn't even matter. The SCVs can't come and mine. And if the STC can't take this base, Kevin, I don't really think he can do much to win this game.
Really big stim here by the STC. He only has 4 medevacs. You want to be careful with it. He is going to try to take out this orbital. Might actually succeed.
He's going to get it. Easily gets it. That's the entire army of the STC, though, Kevin. And it's in a pretty difficult position right now. Taeja could potentially kind of trap it in this corner of the map.
The STC does clear out this right bottom side of the map, at least for now, but Taeja immediately going to send 24 Marines to that.
Oh, nicely played there. 2 more siege tanks picked off, and the tank count continues to heavily favor Taeja. He's got 18 of them.
Taeja is playing a beautiful TVT right now.
Yeah, he really is. Just like a boa constrictor, tightening his grip every second. Here's the stem in the bottom half of the map, as we see the STC is trying to drop in the top half of the map. Command center of the STC is absolutely going to fall. Taeja's base in the top left is going to be kept pretty safe. There's tanks there covering it. And still, Taeja continues to find openings. Another little Marine hit squad coming forward, going to pick off some medevacs, and they pick off some tanks, and going to continue to push down into the third base of the STC. This is the only mining expansion of the STC.
Yeah. And just barely any units over here, man, for the STC. Taeja taking out so many SCVs. There is another fight going down over here in the middle of the map. But Taeja's just rolling all over the STC.
Fantastic play out of Taeja. He goes up over 100 supply, cleaning up the last of the STC's units. And that's going to do it. GG is called, and Taeja continues to dominate.
It starts off 2-0 in his group.
I worried after he beat Elfie that Elfie would put a curse on him. But Elfie actually, I think...
The god of Protoss. Maybe not that merciful.
The proof is here. Elfie let him win. Because if he had not let him win, he would have cursed him, and Taeja would have lost every other game the rest of the tournament.
Really nice series, though, by Taeja. The champion of DreamHack Bucharest. The tournament, no, Valencia, sorry, not Bucharest. Of course, Mana won Bucharest. No, that's not correct either. Nurture won Bucharest against Bly.
There's so many DreamHacks.
Yes, there are so many DreamHacks, but all of them are equally awesome. But yes, Nurture did win Bucharest. But of course, the Valencia champion is still going strong. Taeja 2-0 in his group right now in best of 3s. The STC on the other hand, in a little bit of trouble. He is 0-2 in his group.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. It's going to be very hard for him to win the group. He still finish second or third, possibly.
Definitely. I mean, in his defense, he has played Taeja and Stefano so far. You could perhaps say the 2 strongest players in this group, but there are no weak opponents at this DreamHack, that's for sure.
Yeah. Guys, we are going to jump right over into a commercial. We will have another game coming up on this stream very, very soon.
I think it's going to be Sasa. No, Sasa just played on the other
I think it's going to be
Mana.
Mana versus Bly.
That's very. I think
But
it's going to be Mana versus Bly.
not completely sure, guys. We'll post the schedule for you. Don't go anywhere. DreamHack 2012 continues after this.